You want to build a brand that looks different, that looks attractive, but that has personality and people just want to be around. If I were somebody who wants a service like mine or a brand like mine, what would I want? Would I want somebody that's showing up authentically every day? Would I want a brand that looks a certain way? You have to step out and start thinking of what you would like.
Hello, Indira, and welcome to Breaking Class.
Yay! Thank you for having me.
No, I'm so excited to have you a guest on today's episode, specifically to talk about your journey and your business. You are the founder of Luxe Branding Co., a creative digital marketing agency focused not just on social media management, but also photography, videography, web development, and branding. So much good stuff happening here in your studio, which we're in today.
Yes.
So you've had the opportunity to work with a few powerhouse brands, and that's really exciting. So I'm really excited to kind of pick your brain a little bit today.
I'm excited to be here. I love sharing. I love adding value to people. So this is something that definitely aligns with Lux, my brand, and with me.
Oh, I love to see it. We love synergies. So, the main topic that I really wanted to dive in with you today is building a digital presence, because that is like a big pillar in terms of where Luxe Branding Co. focuses in on. So, my first question for you is, what are some important elements you feel are important to grow an online presence?
I really think that the main one is being authentic. And I feel like a lot of people focus on strategy and focus on the things that are able to be planned. And there's a really big portion that people don't talk about a lot, but it is authenticity. I feel like the biggest brands, personal brands that have blown up on social media have been people who are extremely authentic, that just have personality. So that's why it's so important to give your brand personality, a voice, a message, some sort of value that you stand by. And everything else that is important is just, of course, building a brand that stands out.
Yeah.
And that stems back to authenticity, to be honest, because you want to build a brand that looks different, that looks attractive, but that has personality and people just want to be around, that people just want to enjoy and look at.
Yeah.
So I feel like the first thing is not wanting to be like anybody else, wanting to be different, wanting to stand out. And that is, for me, the main recipe is authenticity.
I love that, because I really think that there's a lot of like cold creators out there that you just don't relate to. And I think there's a big like wave of people just kind of moving away from those. So
Yeah.
I love that you said that. How would you recommend someone to find that voice? Was it just like tapping into their authentic personality, or like how would you say someone would go about doing something like that?
So I really think that people should explore before they even start to blow up their brand, and before you get to the part of like branding colors, branding this. Before you get to that, you need to sit down and think of who you truly are. Who are you as a person? What are your values? What is your vision for yourself for the future? How do you want to add value to people through what you're offering, through your brand? And once you have a really strong message and vision, then you can start creating around that. And for me, with Lux, for example, I always loved the creative world. So I loved creativity. I loved photography. I loved everything that is beautiful and aesthetic. And so to me, that was like, okay, whatever I create has to have a strong brand presence, because it has to look beautiful. It has to look authentic. It has to stand out. I don't want it to be something that somebody else has.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I want it to be something that when people see it, they say, I want something like that for me. I want something like that for my brand, something different. And so I said, okay, my mission is going to be to bring this value to other people. My mission is going to be to help other people with their brands to get something like this.
I love that, because it really is tapping into who you are, and everything else will flow so naturally from there when you start at that place, right? So I love that you said that. Is there a recommendation you would give to someone who is looking to elevate their brand? So let's say they have already launched, they've already in the business, right? Like, how would you say, like, if and they just feel like they're hitting a wall, they don't feel like they're reaching the right audience, they just feel like it's not working.
Yeah.
How would you recommend they go about like looking to elevate their brand? What would be the first step?
I think the first step is to take a step back. I feel like it's taking a step back and putting yourself in the eyes of other people and looking from the outside, looking in and seeing if I were somebody who wants a service like mine or a brand like mine, what would I want? Would I want somebody that's showing up authentically every day? Would I want a brand that looks a certain way? Would I want someone that interacts with people? Would I want someone that creates funny content? You have to step out and start thinking of what you would like and always think, and this is something that's actually something that I talk about to all my mentees. Most of the time, the things that you love and the things that excite you and the things that you look on social media, the people that you follow that you really like, that is also how other people feel. So you have to start shifting, and that's going to have a lot of inside work. That's why a lot of people aren't ready to build a brand sometimes. You have to do the inside work first. You have to work on yourself, work on your mindset, and then you can pour into a brand, and then you can pour into other people, because when you're building a brand, you are building something to add value to other people. Whether that's a personal brand or a business brand, you're going to be offering either a service or either yourself as a brand. And that has to add value to people. So it's really important, I feel, to first get that straight. And then once you feel like this is what I really love, I love someone that is funny. I love someone that is entertaining. I love someone that has a beautiful aesthetic. I love someone that is consistent. That's what I love. So this is who I need to become, and this is what I need to do and do that kind of work.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Because it really is truly an extension of who you are, essentially your business, especially as an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, right? Because that is definitely a thing.
Yes.
So in terms of platforms, what platforms would you recommend to a brand and why?
So Instagram is my number one platform. I definitely think that Instagram has more of a professional approach. TikTok is more organic. It's something where the more organic that you make it, I just woke up and recorded myself. I'm going to the store, watch me do it. If you are organic on TikTok, you will grow more than if you do what you do on Instagram, that it's a little more polished, put together. Yeah, it's a little more polished. It's a little more businessy, because Instagram is a platform where the culture already on Instagram is completely different from TikTok. People love an aesthetic, organized feed. And I will argue about that all day. It is so important. I don't care like that. And I've learned through the years working on social media for almost 6 years now, I've learned that when somebody comes across your Instagram page, if it looks easy to understand what you do from the first glance, something aesthetically pleasing to look at, something that looks organized and put together and just beautiful, if I find you through the algorithm and I see that, you're more than likely to get my follow.
Yeah, no, and I love that you said that, because I wanted to get your insight in terms of what the bio, like that bio space, right? Because I mean, that's like the first thing that people see, and a lot of business owners don't prioritize that. So like, how important do you feel like that's, as well as a feed that is aesthetic and also very instant, to be able to understand what the business is?
Absolutely. I feel like your bio needs to have just a little piece. It has to be a business card. So think of it in terms of when you create your business card, you do put your information on how people can reach you, right? But you also put your brand message, and you also put what you offer. So that's basically what your bio should be. Your bio should be a small business card. How can you add value to people, and how can they contact you? Always a call to action at the bottom of your bio. I offer this. I can help you by doing this. I'm such and such, and I can help you by doing this. Click this link to get started. Click this link to explore more. And also something that's very important that is fairly new, not too new, probably a couple of years old, but your bio is not part of the Instagram SEO. So your bio is going to help people find you. So now Instagram is not too much about hashtags. Actually, hashtags are dead. Now it's all about Instagram bio, Instagram captions, and not hashtags. Hashtags can shadow ban you, so they can actually harm you. We, even in our social media management department, don't use hashtags anymore. We just make sure that the bio is SEO friendly, because now people can just find you because of what's on your bio and in the captions of your pictures and reels.
And how would you recommend someone to understand, like, what are the SEO terms that they should be using for their business? Is there like a methodology that you follow?
No.
Or like, how is it that you're finding the right terms for your business?
So think of Instagram SEO as in any SEO for the web, right? Like Google SEO. The more blogs that you have on your website, the more words that you have on your website, the more key things that are related to your business that you have on your website, the easiest is going to be to find you on Google. Because let's say that we offer social media management services and somebody is Googling aesthetic social media management, aesthetic, and I have a blog that says social media 20,000 times on my website. If I have those words more times than another social media management agency, I'm going to come out higher at the top. So it's really all about using keywords often in your captions.
Okay, so it's like repetition. So like using like social media marketing as an example, just continuing to put that in every caption that you have, bio, web, everywhere.
Yeah.
Like be annoying with it.
Yeah, like and you can be creative about it because they're just words.
Right.
So you can put them together in different ways, as many different ways as you want, as long as you're using keywords that are related to your brand.
Okay. No, I love that. That's super helpful. And then I know that there's a conversation around like trending audios, if it should be original audio, trending audio. Like, what would be your recommendation to brands or even personal brands who are like trying to grow and unsure on like if they should be using those?
So it should always be a mix. You shouldn't always just stick to one thing. You shouldn't always stick to original audio, and you shouldn't always stick to trending audios. It is okay to hop on a trend here and there. That's cool. Also, it adds more personality to the brand. It makes you more relatable. But you know what? There is nothing like an original audio talking of you doing a voiceover and things like that are going to bring you a lot. Right now on Instagram, using original audio with voiceovers are doing incredible, just like on TikTok. So that is actually performing really well. To me, the secret sauce for really good engagement is doing a voiceover reel with your own original audio and using text on screen. Yes, so the original audio with text on screen, it's definitely going to catch a lot more engagement in the first 3 seconds, and that is something that is working a lot for our clients right now.
Nice. That's super helpful. I'm definitely gonna have to try that, especially with our podcast.
Yes.
Audios, for sure. And then what would you say the ratio that would be for in a month? Let's say you post 3 times a month. That's 3, 6, 9, 12, right? Out of all those reels, like how many should be trending versus original content, would you say?
So it all depends on the brand, because if you're a boutique, like a fashion brand, and you're showcasing clothing, it's not going to be the same as if you are a coach. Okay, so if you're a coach, you want to do like 80% original audios of you talking, 20% little trending sounds where you're like doing trends, right? If you are a beauty brand, or if you are, well, beauty does a lot of educational stuff, but if you are like a boutique, right? Fashion and clothing, then you want to do 50-50. You want to do stuff that stands out, because every single fashion brand is doing just trending audios. So if you want to stand out, you want to start going original. Just talking like, I paired this and this for a summer outfit for brunch and blah. Not a lot of brands are doing that. And I'm telling you guys, original audio is having so much success. Just try it and you're going to see the difference.
Okay. Yeah, no, I love that. So it seems like really just knowing what's happening in your industry, and like just finding a way to be different and stand out in that way, you know, but unique to your brand.
Right.
Hey, I love that. That's so beautiful. And then in terms of like when you're putting together like videos, right? So for example, I do the podcast editing videos. There's a need for captions, right? Do you feel like that is a must-have versus like a nice-to-have? What is kind of like your stance on that?
That is a must-have.
Okay.
Because when you are showing an original visual, so you're interviewing somebody in a podcast, it is going to be so helpful to have the captions, because sometimes, and let's just tap into real life. People are out and sometimes they're not even listening. But if the text is on screen, now you have double the power of that tapping into your content. A lot of times they can't hear your content, but they can see it. So if they can see it and they can read it, then that's going to give you a lot more. What we want is the length of the viewer. So the longer somebody looks at your reel, the more it's going to boost your engagement. So if somebody watches your reel for 3 seconds, it's not going to do much for you versus if they watch it for 5 seconds or if they watch the whole thing to the end and open the caption to read more. So anything that you can do to your reel to drag that length of time that they're watching, it's what's going to be boosting your engagement and showing Instagram algorithm, this is a good reel. Let's keep pushing it into the algorithm because it has more viewing time.
No, I think that is very interesting too, because I mean, I feel like retaining someone's attention is really hard. So like, how would you recommend someone do that? Is it having more transitions or just like being like, is it providing value? Like, what would be the best way in to be able to retain someone's attention?
So in this new world that we live in, the attention span is not very long.
It's not. It's so bad.
You know, and that's why TikTok got famous, because it's like 15 seconds, 20 seconds. People don't want to sit down unless you're one of these new kids that like vlogs on YouTube. But apart from that, people don't want to sit down and watch something for 3 minutes. You know, they want something that is quick. Like, even I'm so guilty of like looking at something and skipping and just get to the point.
Just get to the point.
I'm busy. I gotta go. This is interesting, but what I want to get to the point, right? So if you can have a mix for the people that are just trying to watch something quick and the people that like what they saw, so they want to actually now start paying attention to everything else. So having a 1-minute reel, where it's an original audio, you're talking a little bit more about the brand and people can actually watch it the whole way through. It's good to have that in the mix of also having a 15-second reel here and there. So it all depends on your brand and your brand strategy. An example, for me as a social media agency, I will have laid out a strategy for my reels. So I will do a 1-minute reel once a week of me talking and adding value to my viewers, right? Teaching them something that they can learn and they can use in their social media life. And then the next day, I'll post a 15-second reel showing services that I offer. See, it's really just about a balance, but depending on your niche, for me, I do really well with those 1-minute reels. People want to learn because social media is so important, you know? So if you're a motivator, if you're somebody that is doing life coaching, mindset training, things like that, you do gotta do those 1-minute videos often.
Okay, I love that. And then I know that there's a big kind of wave, right, of the content type of having like it loop for 6 seconds and then all the information is in the caption. Have you seen success in doing that, or would you recommend someone to steer away from that type of content?
I think that a lot of times you just need to try it and see if that's something your audience likes. See, a lot of people don't realize that what we need to find individually is what our audience likes. So I've tested a lot of things and I've tested a lot of methods, and I find that when I have a little piece of information and then I steer them to the caption on the reel and they open the caption, that boosts my engagement. So that's something that I do sometimes. It's not something I do in every reel. See, but here and there, I will do a reel where I say, I just did a recent one where it says, you don't need to have, what was it? You're going to have to cut this out. You don't need to have, you don't need to hop on every trend to blow up on social media, but you're going to need what I wrote in the caption. That's going to make people watch my entire reel.
It's like a hook where it's like, okay,
and
like,
then they're going to open the caption, which when people open your caption, by the way, that boosts your engagement.
I didn't know that. That's so interesting. Okay.
Yes.
So it is important to have value in the caption as well, but having like the mix.
That is why people do the prompt to caption.
Okay.
Because whenever somebody opens it, on top of the fact that you're getting view time, the reel's still playing in the background. That's why.
It's like looping. Okay. And then there's also like a really big wave too of having where it's like comment, like link in bio, right? Kind of like going into link in bio where a lot of people are saying link in bio is kind of dead. Don't tell someone link in bio. Tell them to say drop an emoji or something. And then having like this automated system. Like, do you feel like that is like a more effective way to get connected?
These days, yes, but it also just depends on how much engagement you have as a brand. If you're like a brand new brand and you don't get like too many comments, I wouldn't do like drop an emoji. I would just be a lot more informational in the actual reel and caption, and then the link is in my bio if you want to sign up for my program. You know what I mean? Where that works the best, drop an emoji, is when you're showing a really catchy reel of a product.
Okay.
So if you're showing or something you're giving away for free, if you're giving a free course, then you can do drop an emoji so I can send you the link. Because then people are like, oh, hell yeah, I want that product. Or hell yeah, I want that free course. Or I want to buy this that you just showcased that looks amazing. For that, it is very accurate. So if you're going back to, it depends on your brand. So if you're a boutique or if you're an influencer and you just showcase the cutest little dress, the drop an emoji is going to work very well for you.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's something more product based.
Right.
Okay, I love that. And then, sorry, I'm kind of like was spitballing some questions that were in my brain.
Nah, you're good.
Can I ask that? Okay, so kind of going back into like the content schedule, right? Everyone's super focused on reels. That's going to give you reach and all of that. But would you say it's also important to have static posts on your profile? And if so, what is like that ratio? What is that kind of combination that could work?
I will be honest, and I will tell you that if you want aggressive growth, you should go with reels more than anything. This is how I do my own analytics. Because I have so many social media management clients, I'm able to test things out to see if it works through different accounts, right? So I don't trust an AI. And we'll get into AI. I think it would be a good thing to mention this because a lot of people aren't talking about this. But I don't use AI to run statistics or to run data. I go into everyone's data on Instagram. Instagram provides a really, really cool system to check what is serving you on here. Who are the kind of people watching your content? At what time are they watching it? Are they female or male? What is the percentage? At what time is your post doing better? Instagram offers all of this. So since I am watching this throughout different accounts, I'm able to create patterns and really piece things together and see what's working and what doesn't. So I have realized that if you're posting minimum 3 reels per week, okay, and you're going to be growing at a steady pace. If you post 1 reel per week, you might grow, but you're not going to see that growth as loud and as high as you want your engagement. It's not going to happen through 1 reel per week. Now, aggressive growth comes from posting 1 to 2 reels per day.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So like every day.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
That is how you get aggressive growth. And it's also at the same time that you're posting it, you're hitting key points. So beautiful visuals, something with a hook in the beginning. So something that catches people's 3 first seconds of their attention. And then a caption that people will want to read. So, and text on screen. So if you're doing all of this and you're mixing in original audio with trending sounds and you're doing like 1 to 2 reels a day, you will be experiencing a lot of growth.
Okay.
But again, your visuals need to be on point. They need to be crisp. They need to look good. They need to look different. Nobody wants to see the same video on their timeline multiple times a week. It has to be fresh content. It is a full-time job. So people are like, oh, I want to grow so fast, but like it's not happening. Are you putting in that full-time work? Because it is a full-time job to create content that goes viral and to create content that's going to help you grow quickly. Other than that, then it is going to be steady growth. We have grown our brand in 2.5 years that we've been 2.5 years that we have been around, and we've been very steady. And the way that we do that is because I try to post 2 reels, 3 reels a week. I've been super consistent where I've posted 3 and 4 reels a week in certain months. But when we're super busy, we're kind of like not on top of our own brand because we're so busy helping other brands. You know, and even then, I never let my stories die out. So I don't like for them to go 24 hours without stories. And I post on the feed at least 2 to 3 times a day. It's not always going to be a reel, but it is going to be engagement post. So like a quote that people can share. Make it shareable. If you're sharing something that's going to be in writing, it has to be 1 or 2 things. Either something that people can reshare or something that people like really good information that they will share with a friend.
And save. Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's really helpful. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So we talked a little bit about hashtags, SEO. So going back into the bio, right? Of course, it's going to be so contingent on each business and each brand, but what are key items that every business owner should have? I guess you kind of already answered that.
Yeah.
Okay. So if for someone who may not have a social media manager because they're kind of like in the grassroots stage, right? What are some things that business owners and creators can do to think through content? So understanding that we have those multiple layers, but to understand specifically their own industry, what can they do to do that research?
So you always got to look at the competition. And I honestly think that it's a healthy thing to see what other people in your same niche are doing that's working for them. And I'm very analytical. So I like to look at what other agencies like mine are doing, and I like to look at their engagement to see what's actually working for them. So it's not just what they're doing, it's what's working that they're doing. And then I try to do that, but in our space,
Right.
our way. I don't like to copy. I don't like to, I don't even like to use inspo. I just like to see, okay, so that's the kind of content that works. Okay, I'm going to create content like that, but it's going to be our own.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So studying the competition, and then it's creating your own plan. If you plan ahead for content, then if you put it on the calendar and you say, tomorrow I'm going to film these 3 reels, and these are the concepts, and this is what I'm going to wear, and this is the time that I'm going to do it. If you don't plan to the T like that, you won't get it done.
Yeah.
I'm like a big planner. Our content days for Lugs, I plan them ahead. I schedule them. I have one for June that I'm doing, which is going to be like a rebrand of our website, where I'm going to take a lot of like new pictures, and I want to have new graphics on there. So that content day has to be planned ahead. I know that I want to get a lot of good reels out of it too. So that's all in the works. And whenever I do even like the simplest content day where I want to sit down in front of the camera and just like talk about some cool key points, I plan that ahead too.
Okay. So it's just like keep planning. And just analyzing like your industry essentially.
Analyze the industry, plan ahead to create your own content, and make content. People are like, oh yeah, I just opened a business, let's say beauty brands, which is some of the people that we work with the most. It's so important that you are just creating a lot. And in the beauty field is a little bit harder because it's based on services. So you need models, or you need people to perform these services on. And if you're not getting those bookings, you need to do them for free. But there is an investment that you need to make. You need to. I remember when I first started doing makeup years ago. That was my first creative field job. And when I started doing makeup, I wasn't good, right? So I was learning. And after I started practicing on myself, my sister, my mom, and I became better, then I started doing makeup for free on everyone that I could, just to get the content. And that is how I started getting clients. A lot of people don't want to put in that part of the work, but that's the most important part. You have to put in that work where you're doing what you do for basically free in order to build a portfolio. And that goes for anybody in the beauty industry. Whether you're a lash artist, a brow artist, a medical esthetician, a facialist, even aesthetic injectors, which we work with a lot of that. I know it's a bigger investment for them because of the price of the product, but it's just like investing into a good academy. It's just like investing into a good teacher. You have to save space for investing into working for free.
Yeah, no, and I love you that you say that, because I feel like a lot of business owners are like hesitant to spend that money because it's just social media, but it's like literally how people grow their business today. People don't Google anymore, really. They just look up on Instagram, and if a friend went here, and then it just kind of like ripples. So that investment is super important, and making sure that it's high quality.
Yeah, these days, like you just said, people don't go on Google, they go on Instagram and TikTok. That's Google now. Yeah, so it's like whenever I want to find a hot spot in Miami, I go on TikTok, I go on Instagram. And that is the same thing for beauty industry and for any services, period.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Pivoting just a little bit, which, I mean, you've given us so much knowledge already in terms of social media and content creation. So I know like a lot of our viewers are going to have so many good takeaways from this. Yay. But going more into the personal life of you, so you're a mother, right? Yes. How old's your daughter?
My daughter's
11.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. So you've been going through this motherhood journey for quite some
Yes.
time. But I know before you started your own business, you were in a 9 to 5. So what really inspired you to tap into going into your own business 2 years ago and starting Luxe Branding?
Yeah. So I became a mom at 19 years old. So, I was one of those people that like I didn't have like, the fun 20s. I
Yeah.
spent my 20s raising children.
Mm.
So I was just fueled by that.
Yeah.
And, that changes you a little bit because while other people in their 20s are just like having fun and figuring it out, you don't have a lot of options to do that. Like,
Mhm.
you just want to figure things out and make sure that things are stable and safe because you have kids. And that was a lot of the fire that I had that came to me at an early age. By the time that I was 21, I knew I wanted to own a business. I knew I had to be an entrepreneur because already working in a 9 to 5 since I was 16 years old, I've been working in so many jobs. I already knew that that's not something that I wanted to do if I wanted to raise kids. So I was working in the mall from 16 years old. I worked so many different jobs. I was a server at Applebee's at once.
Oh.
I was an insurance agent. I worked at stores. I did makeup. Like I have been in a lot of fields just to find like that one thing I'm passionate about.
Mhm.
And never was I ever passionate about building any other brand that wasn't mine. Yeah, I always knew like I want to build something that helps people.
Mhm.
And I want to build a brand that is going to change people's lives.
Yeah.
And I explore that in so many different ways. I tried to build my own makeup business. I tried to build other financial businesses before. And then this was always in the back of my mind. The creativity was always in the back of my head. But that's what I love.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to put it together.
Yeah.
And then after building my own personal brand on social media and learning through network marketing, I realized that what I knew could help other people. I started building community on social media. I started learning how to do that. And people would tell me, hey, you're really good at this. Like, can you help me with it? And I was able to help them too. So then from that, it's like, okay, maybe I should do this.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do this professionally. And it really took off from day one.
Yeah, I really love how it started too, because I mean, it started with a passion and then it just started naturally happening and then it grew to a business. And I feel like that's the most beautiful way for it to happen, especially when it's been seated in you for a while. And I mean, clearly you're amazing at it. You've seen so much success in doing it and you can see it through your work, the passion that you have. So I think that's beautiful.
Thank you so much. I would do this for free all day. I've done it for free a million times. And it's just something that I love. I love creating. I live for having somebody come to me with a vision and then getting to the point where we bring the vision to life. That is my favorite part of my job, and that is what I do.
It's like so fulfilling, I bet, like because you see it from like conception or even someone who's like nervous about even putting their face behind a camera to being like posting it and just kind of being out there in the universe and them embracing their power. So
100%.
it's kind of like a beautiful metamorphosis.
It is seeing that. And I've gotten clients, like you said, that they come and they're like super shy, and seeing them turn into incredible business owners where they're showing up, they're consistent, they're putting everything that you've taught them, they're putting it into work and getting the results. That is extremely fulfilling.
I'm a big believer that like social media managers are also like your hype men,
yes,
right?
Yes,
like
it's
100%,
true.
because it's like that's like the forefront of your business, right? And I feel like sometimes you have that self-doubt of like, oh my God, do people even care, whatever? And then like your social media managers are like, no, people are gonna care, you're killing it, like you're doing amazing. Yes. So it's like it's really nice to have that support. So,
it is.
Or be that person who is that support.
Listen, a lot of people just don't understand that. And they don't see the value of a social media manager because they've never experienced it. Yeah. And I'll tell you, it is such an incredible job to have. We have an incredible team. My social media managers for Luxe are super talented, super creative. And more than that, they truly care about the brand. Something that our social media managers always do is that they sit down with each client and tell them, I think it would be great if you can get on camera and do this. They encourage them to truly build their brand with authenticity. Again, going back to the root of everything on social media, it's just being authentic. And they encourage that by telling them, if you showcase yourself like this would add a lot more value to the work that we're helping you create. Yeah. And like you said, we are the best hype man. And I feel like it's such an incredible career. Social media managers are the future.
No, 100%. And here to stay. It's amazing. So you touched on this a little bit, but how has motherhood changed your perspective on business and life, especially as you became an entrepreneur?
So I think that we have to, as entrepreneurs, know that every part of your business is going to be in seasons. So in the beginning, it's going to be the building season. And in the building season, you have to be focused. You have to put in the extra time, the extra sweat, the extra hours, because you're building the name. Okay. And then once you're getting up there and, you know, you've built a name and success is coming in because you've been putting in the hours, you also need to know when to take a step back to not get burnt out. And I think that balance, I've learned it because I am a mom. And I feel like if I didn't have kids, things would just be different, you know, because having kids gave me that power and that fire in the beginning to work the 13, 14 hour days that I used to work when I was building Luxe.
Wow. Yeah.
As a mom with 2 kids, holding on a household, my husband, my kids, like
it's a full life.
Putting everything together, being a wife, being a mom, being a daughter, taking care of the house.
You're split so many ways.
Building a business. All of that at the same time was incredibly difficult. I would be working 14 hours a day. I'll be working before the kids woke up, while the kids were in school, while the kids were at home, while the kids were sleeping. Work, because I really wanted to build this brand. And, you know, after doing that for a whole year and reaching incredible success while doing that, it was very much worth it. But I started to feel burnt out. And so that's when also being a mom helped me, because I realized, why am I doing this? Wasn't I doing this so that I can have better quality of life? Wasn't I doing this so that I can have more time with my kids? Because from the get, one of my biggest motivations has been to become an entrepreneur so that I can be a present parent. As in a 9-to-5, I didn't have that. I would have to miss events at school. I wouldn't be able to afford certain things for my kids. I wouldn't be able to always be there. I would miss important moments because I would work from 7 in the morning and I would never get home till like almost 7 p.m. because traffic, work, like, you know, it adds up. And being in a 9-to-5 really took so much time away that I wanted to be there for my kids. So that's why I wanted to build a business, so that I can have that freedom. So building the business in the beginning was like having 2 9-to-5s.
No, for sure.
It's like you quit 9-to-5 to work 24/7. And it's just at the beginning. That's why I say you work in seasons. Once you've built something stable, then you got to know when to take a step back and enjoy the fruit of your labor a little bit more, and realize that you're not in a race, and that you are building this to have quality of life. What does my life look like now compared to 2 years ago? The very first year of Luxe, I was working super hard. I was giving it my all, blood, sweat, and tears. And now that we're at 2.5 years, it is very different. I take my time off. I only work 3 days a week. I enjoy my time with my kids. Like, I will turn off my phone. It's not like before that I'll drop everything for a client calling me. No, now there is boundaries. Now it's more about my life. I'm more than just my company and my brand. The reason why I built it was so that I can have this lifestyle. So if I worked harder the way that I did in the beginning, I'll be even more successful, you know? But I don't want to, because I want to enjoy these moments of building my life and being a mom. So it's taught me to slow down. And I feel like as a woman in business, it's important to realize that sometimes you gotta tap into your soft life and take it easy, and realize that you're not in competition with anybody, that it's okay to not be at the top or to have everything all at once. Just enjoy the moments. You know, they're so important.
And I honestly love that you said that too, because I feel like oftentimes when you're a woman and you are in business, you like tap so much into like that masculine energy, and it's sometimes like really hard to get out of it. And especially like if you're in a relationship or if you're single, and it's like it's kind of makes it really hard for the other relationships in your life, because like where you need to show up as more feminine for your children, for your husband, for whoever it is that you have in your life that, you know, like deserves that attention and love from 100%. You, you know. And I know so many entrepreneurs now that they're out after 2-3 years, you know, and it's that balance, finding that moment where like, okay, you need to step away, right? And I'm a big believer where life, yes, there's balance, but I think it's balance, like you were saying, in seasons, right? So it's like you have like that season of the intense years and all of that, but finding that moment of like, okay, I'm going to step back. And then maybe you go back to a season of aggressive growth, you know? And that's okay.
I'm so glad you said that. Yeah. Because at least once a year, I will have those 2-3 months of focus. I will, and I just had that this first 3 months, first of 2024, I had a focus season. So I was working a little bit more. And it was slow season. So when it's slow season, I'm building. And then when it's busy, it's already busy enough, you know?
And you already built it.
And I already built the season. So I'm just like, now I'm only going to work on the days that I'm tapped in and clocked in, because it's so busy that if I don't do that, I will get burnt out. And if you love something, if you really love what you do and you don't want to get to that burnt out stage, you have to give yourself grace, and you have to set the boundaries, or you will start to despise the work, the journey. So I feel like it is super important to take the step back.
How would you say that systems, like integrating systems into your workflow or in the processes of your business, how do you feel like that's been able to help you sustain a personal life, essentially?
Yeah. So I have a system for everything, from the business, onboarding, taking in new clients, the way that we work with people, 100% that's helped me in business. But I also have a system to my lifestyle. I plan my week. Okay. And when you're a woman in business and you're busy, so if you're a woman in business, wife, mom, or student, and you have a lot more things going on apart from your business, you definitely want to keep that calendar on you. Yeah. Because so that is life-changing. I am nothing without my calendar. I cannot rely on my mental, because at all, baby girl, disconnect sometimes. And calendars are everything. So my system is that I plan my days, and I even plan my free time. So
I love that. That's so smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of times you have to, or you won't have it. Yeah. Because things are gonna pop up.
That and right there.
You're like, oh, but can you take me on Thursday? No, love, because on Thursday from 2 to 4, I'm gonna have a date. Yeah. And if you don't plan it, it's not even going to happen. Yeah. Because if there's nothing and that time is free, yeah, I'll take you. Yeah. That's why it's so important to even plan self-care. Yeah. So my system for myself is that Mondays are self-care days.
Okay, I love that.
So it's either whatever I need to do, if it's my nails, if it's my hair, if it's my massages, whatever it is, Mondays I usually do that. And then every morning I have my day be all about me up until 11 a.m. So from the moment that I wake up, you know, the kids, school, blah, blah, blah. Once I dedicate that part of the morning to my kids, from 9 to 11, it's all about me. After 11, it's like I clock into like work mode, either coming to the studio to shoot, either meetings, either calls, either work that I have to get done. From 11 to like 3 p.m. I'm working. Then I'm clocked out again, and I'm clocked into mommy mode.
It's important.
Yes, and I'm clocked into mommy mode until like 7, 8 p.m. That's the bedtime for the kids. And then I'm clocked back into work. So I usually do my best creations in the nighttime.
So you're nocturnal girly.
Yes, I'm one of those. And sometimes I text my clients and I'm like, sorry about the time. I work best at night. Yeah. And usually they'll be like, oh, you're totally fine. Me too.
Yeah, honestly, I really think the best work happens at night. Yep. Like, you know, and like, I'd rather have like a late start to the day and then just like grind it out to like 2 in the morning.
Yep,
like the brain works better.
It does. It is something about the energy in the nighttime when the world is quiet. Yeah. I think it's something about that.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like the world is more relaxed in the night. There's none of that, like the cars, the beeping, like all of that is like shut down.
Yeah, and like it's also, you don't expect any text messages or phone calls or any like distractions, because I feel like the days just get like very distracting, with just like life things or work things or whatever. So it's just like, that's really like the real work, you know, like the internal work for the business.
100%, 100%. From 8 p.m. to like 12, 1, I'm tapped in and I'm creating. So I'm working on designs, I'm working on logos, I'm editing images, I'm editing videos and visuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's also relatable. So, you mentioned a little bit about, you know, like your Mondays being your self-care days, but what are things like that you do specifically to fill your own cup? Like, is it always just getting your nails done, getting your hair done, or is there other things that you do to like stay with yourself?
Yes.
Essentially?
And you know what? For me, it is like pampering myself. I love to get a massage. I love to get my nails done and have like that therapy talk with my nail girl or my hair girl.
Really is a therapy session.
It is so nice to have that interaction while you're also getting your services done and you're like happy to leave with like your nails
you're
done.
like super cute. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. But don't underestimate the power of like going to sit at the beach by yourself with a book.
Yeah.
That's also self-care.
Yeah.
You know what? Going for a run is self-care.
Yeah.
Just tapping out of work, life, tapping out of all of those responsibilities that you have on an everyday basis. I feel like you have to have at least an hour or two every single day to quiet the mind and just focus on you.
Yeah. I know you're in your fitness era now.
I am.
Yeah, you are.
Finally, girl, I was 30 pounds overweight after I had my second child, and I struggled so much with self-confidence. You know, we all go through it, and we look in the mirror, we're just unhappy, and I was so unhappy for a long time. And it was really difficult for me, and I don't think I talk about that too much, but getting into this field made it even harder.
Yeah, because it's all the photos, the aesthetics.
Working with beautiful women day in and day out will do some things to you.
Yeah.
You know, you start comparing yourself and you're like, I'm in this field, I'm on camera all the time, and I don't feel right, you know? And so I got mad at myself one day. I'm like, now that I built my company, I finally have the time. So why am I not making the time to do it? And that's another reason why I took a step back. That's why I said the first year, grinding. I didn't go to the gym. Like, I would work out for like 30 minutes. That wasn't doing anything for me. I was stress eating because I was working 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that didn't allow me to lose anything. And when I took that step back, I'm like, no, I need to work out at least an hour every morning. I need to have the time to cook. I need to have the time to take care of my body and nourish it. And so that was one of the many reasons why I had to slow down.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because, you know, I lost 25 pounds.
Wow, congrats.
Yes,
it's amazing.
Thank you. I feel so much better in my clothes. I feel so much better when I'm working. And it just helps my confidence so much.
Yeah.
And it just helps me love me harder.
Oh, I love that.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's part of why I always tell people, listen, tap into your purpose, build your brand, put in the hard work. All of that correlates to your freedom, and your freedom is what's going to give you your happiness. Because if you have the time to take care of yourself in whatever way that looks like for you, because maybe you're not a fitness girly. Maybe what you want to do is be able to go to the beach and surf every day. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but creating your business that gives you that time freedom, it's really going to be something that doesn't just affect you, but it affects your family and it affects your life.
Yeah, affects how you show up to the world. And I love that you said about that it really made you more confident, because it's, you know, I feel like oftentimes women, we like look at a weight scale, right? And it's not about like how much you gain or lose. It's how much you feel when you look in the mirror.
100%.
Right? Because it's like you can still feel like you haven't reached your goal weight, but it's like learning to embrace and love your body
100%
throughout that journey. You know, and I think that's like I was also like really overweight too. Like I think I was like 180 pounds. I'm like 130 now. So like, girl, it was crazy. I left a toxic relationship. It was like all these things. It was the pandemic. All these things.
That's when I gained weight, girl.
The pandemic was scary.
The pandemic did me wrong.
I know, she was not cute to me. But you know, it really is like learning to love yourself throughout that process of how your body changes, and especially like as becoming a mother, like your body changes so much like through that journey too. So it's just, you know, loving and giving yourself that grace. So I love that you said that. So just a final few questions. So if you can share one piece of advice to someone who's scared to invest in their business for the digital presence, what would it be?
Damn, that's a good one. That is a good one. You know, there is nothing in life worth having that is going to come either for free or easy.
Yeah.
Because if you're not putting in the very hard work on your own because you have the time to do it, then you need to be paying someone who has the time to do it. So it's going to cost you either time or money.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to realize. It really comes down to that. Do you have the time? Great. So put in the hard work. It's a full-time job. If you don't have it, then you need to find the money to do it. And the digital world is going to elevate your business into another dimension because you can build a person-to-person business, and that's always going to be capped. The digital market is uncapped. You can tap into so many people. It's unlimited. You build a brand in person and it's going to be a local brand. But when you build a brand online, it is going to be a global brand.
Yeah, so much more scalable.
Yes. So if you're scared to invest because you feel like your investment is not going to be worth it, I suggest that you make an educated investment and you research and you look for a company that really does what they say that they do, a company that delivers, or a person, going to really give you the results. So make an educated investment.
Yeah.
Research who you're going to be working with, research the way that they work, look at the clients that they work with, and see if this investment has been working for other people. But that investment, to me, as long as you're investing with the right company, is always going to pay you back tenfold. And it's something that doesn't pay back right away either.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yep, you got to be patient.
People think that hiring a social media manager is going to give them overnight success and they're going to be going viral overnight.
10,000 followers instantly. The dream. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is number one, a teamwork. You have to work as a team with your social media manager for things to work, because at the end of the day, this is your brand. You can have a social media manager, but they can't show up for you for brand. They can help you piece things together. Yeah. They can create your strategy. They can post for you. They can create what the visual is going to look like, but they can't show up as the CEO.
Yeah.
And that is very important.
Yeah.
So that is why I say, and I tell this to all my clients, from the initial meeting, I let them know this is a teamwork. And I am going to put in 100%, but you have to put in 100% in order for this to truly work. So whenever we tell you, hey, we need you to capture content like this. Hey, we need you to show up like this. Hey, we need you to provide this so that we can provide this in exchange for you. You have to be really willing, and that's how you're going to be seeing success. Yeah. Guaranteed.
No, and I love that, because I really believe that people only take you as serious as serious as you take yourself,
Facts.
And your business. Yes. And that takes money. And time.
100%.
So I love that. That's so important. And then my last question is, what is something that you would tell your younger self?
I love that question.
Yeah, it's my favorite question. It's my favorite.
Oh, man. I would tell my younger self that my intuition is never wrong. Trust your gut from the very first feeling. That pain in your stomach is always going to be right. And you are going to build your dream life if you continue to be hard-headed when it comes to your dreams and your goals. Don't give up on that dream. Don't give up on that passion, because it's in your heart for a reason.
Beautifully said. Well, thank you so much, seriously, for joining us. You gave us so much knowledge. It's incredible. And I mean, for those who don't know your business, definitely going to be sending all the links in the caption to follow you, check you out. And if you're interested in social media marketing and beyond, you have that platform. So thank you so much, seriously.
Thank you so much for having me. And I also offer mentorships. So it's not just like a do-it-for-you service. We have that too if you're a busy entrepreneur and you need us to help you build your social media presence. But if you want to do it yourself and you want to actively create and build your own brand, we have mentorship where we are holding your hand. Doesn't matter what stage you are in your brand building era, we are going to help you build an incredible brand.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. So stay tuned. Let me So thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Indira. Seriously.
Thank you so much for having me.